You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards, talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Battered Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. Free 99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Into Miami, and we have the best MLS podcaster in the country joining me now, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
I don't know what it is, but I feel bad for everybody and their weather, man. Like, what is going on in this entire country?
It started with Ty, and it's been rough. It's been rough. All right, 15-20 minute preview. Here we go. Chris, 2024 recap. Inter Miami obviously got their butt kicked by Atlanta. Maybe not their butt kicked, but it was a huge upset to lose to the 9th place team. What would you give me a 2024 recap?
I mean, it sucked because we only walked away with one piece of hardware, which was the supporter shield, right? Everybody thinks that that's like the greatest trophy ever designed because we win it, European style, but it doesn't give us a star on the crest. And that's the only trophy we walked away with. We lost in the CCC because of David Ruiz getting a boneheaded red card. We lost in the Leagues Cup against Columbus, right? And then we run into Brad Guzan, and it's Messi versus Guzan. And the answer that's the correct one is the one you'd never guess in your life 10 out of 10 times.
Absolutely. Brad Guzan played out of his absolute mind. And I feel like if he doesn't do that, Inter Miami probably does advance further. And I would just say that they make it to at least the final, but who knows? All right, biggest departure for Inter Miami this offseason.
And I'm gonna get a lot of flack from the chat here, but obviously the biggest departure has got to be Diego Gomez, right? I mean, he is the biggest departure. No, I mean we lost. Absolutely. Legitimately the most active and great on both sides of the ball player. To replace that kind of engine or replace that kind of player is near impossible. We lost him to Brighton, got a lot of money back. But the other one that I'll tell you that we lost, and look, Mr. Krabs is saying Diego Gomez biggest departure, but the other one is Danny's favorite player, Leo Campana. We lost Campana. We have no backup striker. I mean, as you'd seen, Danny, and a lot of people in the chat have seen, who's been playing backup striker? Fafa, Allende, Robert Taylor, Rocco Rios.
There definitely isn't an out-and-out backup striker yet. But Campana's production wasn't. I think that they could find somebody to fill that hole. They haven't found them yet, though, and that's where the issue is.
Yeah, man, that's the biggest problem.
Biggest arrival. Who would you say is the biggest arrival this offseason? And if there's more than one, feel free to go off.
Well, there's a bunch, right? But I want to mention one that you probably haven't even thought of. Ustari. He left.
Well, he got here last year, though.
But he left.
Okay.
And then he re-signed. So technically, Ustari counts, right? Yeah. And the worst part is that we have like an open competition for the goalkeeper position. Ustari is, I guess, a pretty big arrival, right? Considering the competition. One that a lot of MLS fans are probably more familiar with is Fafa Picault. He's sort of like a journeyman in the MLS. Just came from Vancouver, still has some juice in the tank, and he played pretty well for Vancouver too. Especially considering that we're losing Diego Gomez out on the left side, to be able to have somebody like Fafa Picault that can be able to play both on the offensive side and the defensive side, even though considering that he's a older player, that's a big signing. That's huge.
I did the preview of Vancouver yesterday, and they said that their biggest departure was Fafa, and that they really wanted him back because he had a great year last year.
Well, I'm imagining that he is their Diego Gomez, right? Like in some way, shape, or form, not as young and as active, but I mean, he does sign kind of the same tasks. So
he's a game changer.
yeah, I mean the other arrivals, I guess we can go with to Tadeo Allende, that he's from Argentina, came in from Celta Vigo, I think, no, from La Liga, and him coming in with Fafa Picault shows that there's going to be a lot of competition there on the wing side on the left, especially since the left wing is like pretty open. And one player I really want to see, which we haven't, is Maxi Falcon. We got Maxi Falcon. We haven't even seen him play. Same thing with Talasco Segovia. He's a Venezuelan player out of Casapia, came from Portugal. We did a preview video on him. Those are two players that I think are going to pay dividends for us, but we just haven't been able to see them play any minutes.
Maxi Falcon, center back. He should. Everybody criticized how bad the defense was, so you would hope that Maxi Falcon can fill in that void. And like you said, Segovia is what people have been comparing to a poor man's Diego Gomez, just a little saucier on the ball. Maybe not as good defensively, but he can still give you a lot. So it's going to be exciting to see those two.
I'm not done though. Not done though.
Go for it.
We still have one more arrival.
Remember, this is 20 minutes. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it's 20 minutes. Don't worry, Papa. We're moving. I did like 3. Okay. Rocco Rios Novo. Okay. He's also an arrival. Okay, that's another goalkeeper that came in alongside.
The topic says biggest arrivals, but sure.
Well, hey, listen, the goalkeeper position is it's pretty open, and it's a big position. It's the only position of its kind on the pitch. So that's a pretty big acquisition that we made. So just keep that in mind, guys.
All right, we got 14 minutes left, Chris. So formation and tactics. What formation do you see Inter Miami coming out with, and what kind of style of play do you expect them to play?
Well, it's weird because as a team, we had a Tata last year, and it didn't. I don't want to say it didn't work out because we were one of the most successful teams in the league. But at the end of the day, we ended up getting Mascherano, and we kind of don't know exactly what formation he's going to put out in the first game or so. So right now he's been coming out with 4-3-3, mixing it up with a 4-4-2. Other than that, I haven't really seen anything else. I mean, sometimes they'll mix and match it during the games, but that's consistently what I've seen.
Yeah, I feel like a 4-4-2 is more or less the base when they're defending, and when they get on the ball, it almost changes to a 4-3-3. But yeah, well, we don't know for sure. But
that's the toughest part.
It is possession based. We are going to hold possession, even though I feel like it's more purposeful this year. It's more direct passes. We're not playing it laterally a lot. We're more direct vertical passes, at least in the preseason so far. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Players to watch that are not household names. Inter Miami obviously will be on TV quite a bit and be promoted quite a bit. So people might be watching. But what's a player to watch that is not a household name?
I'd say Tadeo Allende, to me, is probably going to be a player that I'd want to watch, especially as a newcomer. He already has a goal in the preseason. So I do feel like if he gets the opportunities, I think that he's probably going to shine over players like, Robert Taylor. I think that he might be even better offensively than Fafa Picault. Other than that, I think the other player that we could see that's not a household name, I mean, Federico Redondo, right? Okay. Once he starts to get moving, I think that he's going to be, I mean, we've agreed that I think he's going to be, and you're one of the people that are co-signing it too, that he's going to be one of the players that are going to take the same steps as Diego Gomez, play lights out this year and on his way to the EPL. So those are two names that I think are good to watch out for sure.
And I throw Talasco Segovia in there. He is in Venezuela they're hoping is their next big star in Venezuela. I mean, he looks like he might be a baller, but we are yet to see him. But I would say that's the player to watch. That is not in a household name. I'd say Talasco Segovia. All right. What do you think is the strength of this team?
Well, I mean, I think so far with all the acquisitions that we made, it's funny because you have strengths and weaknesses. I don't necessarily see a weakness. right? I mean,
Okay.
in terms of like the defense, we weren't the worst defensive team in the league. We were like top 6 defenses, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, we have Messi.
slightly above average, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have Messi, so you would expect greatness on both sides, but at the same time, we were pretty good defensively, and we got better. Our midfield, we have like, I don't know, 8 or 9 people that are interchangeable that can come in and bring in massive minutes that are unfazed in game situations. So to me, weakness, the only weakness I see, honestly, is at the striker position if Luis Suarez is not playing, just because of the unknown of we don't know who's going to play that position after him.
Strength, kind of like what you said. We have Messi.
Yeah,
And
we have Messi.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's the strength. And then as far as weakness, I still worry about the defense and that high press the high line that they play. Jordi Alba in the preseason was getting up really high, and I don't know who's going to be covering him, that space behind them. So I think the defense still might be a weakness, even though it, like you said, statistically it wasn't the worst. But I do worry about that. And then real quick, player to watch. Neither one of us said Yannick Bright for some reason. Yannick Bright is a player that could be a star in this league. And I think people need to take some notice. They take notice of Yannick Bright.
I would have loved to bring him up, but I'm just afraid that it's going to get to the point where players like Redondo are going to rob minutes.
He's not going to get playing time.
Yeah, players like him, he's going to rob minutes. Segovia's going to rob minutes. So I feel like, unfortunately, he's going to be sitting on the bench for too long in order to be able to really show out, kind of like how he did last season.
Yeah, and then Justin brings up a great weakness here. Toto Aviles' love for the color red. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely hoping for bigger and better things for Toto Aviles. He is a player that I'm expecting to have a huge season also. So Toto Aviles. All right, Chris, 2025, obviously disappointed last year.
Very.
You have a pulse for the fan base. What do you feel is the fan expectation? Like, this is what the fans say they want, and when they get, they'll be satisfied with.
I think Supporter Shield is something that we've already experienced, and we've learned that the curse is real. So I feel like that's something that fans really don't care about. And listen, the CCC is laid out, red carpet style for us. That is the first and most immediate trophy we need to win. And I feel like the League's Cup is a possibility. But at this point, with the kind of team that we have at the moment, I feel like 2 trophies minimum and sitting between first and second place is what the fan expectation is.
Okay. So expectation, minimum 2 trophies. That's the expectation. Now, if we go in 20... Good.
And Sargent saying at least treble, CCC, MLS Cup, and Leagues Cup.
Okay. Now, I think that the majority of the fan base agrees with what you said. I think 2 is what they're looking for, and MLS Cup has to be one of them. Yes. Even though CCC would be nice, I think MLS has to be one of them and another trophy. But, yeah, I mean, treble would be nice. All right, so fandom aside, Chris. Take the fandom aside. 2025 prediction. Where do you think this team ends up at the end of 2025?
So I'm going to I think that we're going to end up in 3rd place, if not 2nd place in the Eastern Conference. Okay. I feel like 1st place would be great for us people that have season tickets. But aside from that, 2nd to 3rd place, I feel like if there's games where we're not going to have to play Messi, we're going to rest him because we have enough depth that can be able to cover that. MLS Cup or bust at this point. That is the #1 trophy in terms of what it is that we're looking for. The CCC is nearer, but at the same time, the MLS Cup is what we want. We want to have that star above the crest.
I'm with you in the prediction. I don't know where they fall in the standings, maybe 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, but I do think they're going to win the CCC this year. Yeah. Like you said, I feel like the bracket is kind of laid out. They have to get through either Monterrey or Pumas before they get to the final, but I feel like they should make it there. And I just feel like I think Messi's gonna no international duty. He's not gonna be playing for Argentina throughout the year, and I feel like it's on their mind that they don't like the way they went out last year. And I have a feeling that MLS Cup and CCC are attainable, and I think that they'll win both of those. So I think they will get both trophies. I don't know if they'll get Leagues Cup or Supporter Shield, but I think they'll get those two. All right, and that's it. A quick 15-minute preview. Like I say at the end of every preview, we do this just to give you just a little glimpse of every team. But if you want to catch a more in-depth look at Inter Miami, Chris, let them know where they can find us.
They can be able to find us right here at Battered Herons. You can check us out right there. We do coverage in both English and in Spanish. Post 4 to 5 times a week, just depending. And now that the season's starting, we're going to be up and at it probably six times a week for sure.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a nightmare. And then you can hit us up here at Battered Herons and check out the store, batteredfans.com. We got a lot of merch that's up there for every single team, every single fan, whatever you're looking for, we got it.
All right, and Justin real quick said, do we advance in the Club World Cup?
Yes.
I think we get out of the group stage if we win that first game. I'm going to say we do win that first game and we advance, because all you need to do is win one game. They're playing against that Saudi team, and then draw one of the last two. I think they could pull off a draw somewhere. So I think that they will advance out of the group stage after that. But I think that they managed to somehow sneak out of the group stage. But I'm in no way predicting a win there. All right, Chris, thank you for jumping on, and you don't got to go anywhere. I'll close it out right here. That is the end of night 3. We've previewed 30 teams in 3 nights. We had 30 different guests. I appreciate every single person that took the time to give a quick preview, except for Justin, because Justin didn't want to talk to me. But appreciate every single one of you guys that joined us. It was awesome getting to talk to so many people from across the league. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Our goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers before the season starts. But it was fun. It was a long 3 nights, but it was fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did.